Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Sports Arena. I'm your man, Eric Wilson, here on a Monday night, as always. Whoo, people, let me just tell you, it has been an amazing week, and it's only getting better and better. First off, I know you see the new threads, so I got to give a special shout out to my man who's been helping me out with the merchandise, Byron from ASE 365, All Sports Everything. Go check him out. You can get your Sports Arena gear there. Brand new tracksuit, top to bottom, that he hooked me up with. I'm so excited for that. And then, as I've been talking about, and as y'all will see in the very near future, National Scouting Combine, March 7th to the 11th, Grand Park Events Center, Indianapolis, Indiana. A lot of great young talent you're about to meet, courtesy of my man, Mr. Jimmy Kibble, the rest of the crew at Beyond Sports Network. Thank you for hooking me up and blessing me with these gentlemen. You know what? Let's get down to business. Let me get my brother in here, Mr. Alex Fleming. As always, Florida Sun Review, Central Florida's oldest black newspaper. Magic Perspective, Journey with the Jays. This man is global. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is global. Talking to people in the UK, talking to people in his old hometown of Amarillo, Texas, in 806 Sports, talking to people in Illinois. Of course, he handled Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, laundry list keeps getting bigger and bigger, and he keeps getting better and better. What's up, brother?
What a week.
I'm telling you.
we could say it, but it's like, damn.
Yo, you truly walk a mile in another man's shoes. You have a better understanding of what it takes to get there. So, man, we got some things to discuss. I know Ruth and Mike are supposed to be joining us, and I'm sure they will momentarily. If not, hey, we're going to do what we do and keep the show rolling. So let's start the conversation, my brother, with, let's talk about something that I think we need to have a conversation, you and I, about. And it is the fact that, Urban Meyer, a man who was under fire 1 week for a suspect hire when it came to the coaching staff, has, I guess, kind of made an about face, if you will, and now has hired a young lady who formerly was with the Houston Texans, but because she, was in favor of Madam Vice President Kamala Harris and put a tweet out about it, Houston Texans and her parted ways. Now, we don't know the whole story, but now she is going to be working with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I posed this question in the tweet, in our chat. Was this truly an about face movement? Or was this, as we've heard some people say, possibly a PR, public relations stunt, if you will? Let me go to you.
Well, I'm a little bit biased because I wasted no time calling out Urban Meyer for hiring a derelict on a franchise whose team is 65% African American. But no.
And wait, and by the way, they have media, black media, in the media press room. Just wanted to throw that out there.
They do. They do. Wow. I love the way that you threw a shot out there, but hey, with that being said, I am part of that black media in the press box, and I was upset at the hire of Chris Doyle. And then when I saw a tweet today that they picked up Amy Polsick, I was like, man, well, if this isn't a 180, somehow, some way, somebody found a way to get that get out of jail free card refunded back to him. I think it's beautiful. Good job, Urban. I have to give it to you. That was smart. So to say that he's not paying attention, that would be a lie. Good job. Good hire. She deserves another chance, and she gets to stay in the AFC South, and she gets to expose all the ignorance that was in the Houston Texans franchise. I will say this. For Urban Meyer, of all people, to announce that she's the new director of communications tells me two things. Yeah, he pulled a John Travolta and Nicolas Cage face off. He saved some face. But two, he's also trying to make moves to show that they're in it to win it. Jacksonville may not be competitive upcoming this year when it comes to the division, but 2 years from now, y'all better pay attention to these Jaguars. Let's look at the state of the AFC South. Indianapolis Colts, coin flip. Let's just be fair and leave it at that. We can talk about that, but I'm just going to say they're a coin flip. So let's move them over to the side.
Okay.
Tennessee, all offense, all gas, no breaks. That defense is powder puff soft. All right. And Houston,
We have a
I might have
problem.
to go to Houston, pick up H-Town Wheelhouse, and be outside of the stadium holding signs saying free Deshaun Watson. Okay, that's how bad it's getting. Free Deshaun Watson, because they holding that man hostage. I mean, it's really, really bad. So don't sleep on Jacksonville actually being above 500 this year. I mean, I wouldn't. I know that roster like the back of my hand. I cover them. And trust me, they may have went 1-15, but they were competitive a lot more than they got blown out. Real talk. Offensive tackle, a brand new tight end because they let Tyler Eifert go. And Sunshine, maybe, because they do have the number 1 pick. I'm assuming they're going to get Sunshine.
I think
Sunshine
so.
will be in Jacksonville.
I
So,
think that's a fair assessment.
that is a fair assessment. Absolutely. I might have wrote something about that too. But Amy Pausick, congratulations. I hope you make the most of your communications position. And I hope and pray I get to ask the coach a couple of questions.
Oh, I think you will. I think you'll ask the coach more than a couple of questions. You know what I want from you, my brother? I'm going to give you one job. I want the Amy Possick interview from Mr. Alex Fleming. I want you and her to have that connection and talk about what it was like transitioning from the Houston Texans to Sunshine in the Sunshine State in Jacksonville. I'm curious. I'm very curious to see her thoughts, her opinions on it. And we know, listen, as media, we know we are going to get the politically correct responses to a lot of things. But I feel like she might give you a little insight simply because of the connections that you have and who you know. And we won't throw no names out there, but very simply like this. When you see a fresh face, someone who is, in my opinion, the genuine article, oh, trust me, I think she's going to be a little more truth telling to you than she might be to others. Here is my stance when it comes to what Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars have done. I think this is the second team, in my humble opinion, who is starting to turn the page when it comes to being on the right side of history. We saw it with the Washington football team and everything that Ron Rivera has done. And so now we're seeing Jacksonville make these necessary moves and changes to kind of uplift the diversity, the equality, the equity, and the inclusion of women and minorities in the NFL. I want this trend to continue. We both hope this trend continues. But at the same time, we're going to keep a serious eye on Jacksonville because, Urban Meyer, you made one mistake, you've corrected it. But now, trust me, all eyes are going to be on him. Let me get my man Mike Caratanudo in here from Believe in the Pac-12. What's up, brother?
Sorry, man. My phone died. Then I realized the time. And I was like, no way. I'm like, he's going to get so mad. I'm finally home.
Nah,
anyway,
it's all love.
I'm good. No, man. Alex, your article was spot on. I mean, look, coaching, no matter who the coach is, I've always said this, and any coach, Urban Meyer, it is the good old boy network. I mean, we all know. If I get hired and I work with you guys, I'm chances are I'm bringing you guys in. I don't care who else is there. I'm bringing you guys in. And if you get hired and you work with me, same difference. But to give somebody a second chance is one thing. To give somebody a second chance that obviously had all that, it's ego with coaches too. And that's the thing that because it's a fine line between being humble and egotistical, and you have to have that ego, but at the same time, you have to have common sense and not stupidity. That's all I can say in hiring. And, and I know, I mean, Alex, your article mentioned it, and a lot of people have talked about, obviously, the players in Florida that got arrested. And yes, a coach will get blamed. And I'm not saying not rightfully so, but come on. We've all been to college. Now, I had friends that were athletes and were supposed to be in beds at certain time. And when the check was done, they were. But then after the check, they may or may not have been hanging out with us late. Not getting in trouble, but I'm just saying, a coach can't. Yeah, you would hope it would go to character. And if these kids had got arrested in high school, then it's a different story. So I look at that and say, okay, not a good look. But just in general, let the ego go because, Eric, I'm with you. I mean, eyes on Jacksonville, but I mean, come on, it's not Ohio State. You don't get to not leave the state of Ohio for the first month of the season and play the Sisters of the Poor. You're going to get punched in the mouth, and how are you going to handle it? How are you going to handle it? And also, to your guys' point, and Alex, to your article's point, How are you going to handle it in the NFL when guys like, again, they're not worried about whatever. They're going to give you just as much back. So it looks bad, and it's a tough start. But like you said in the end, Alex, sunshine's coming anyway, so everybody's going to be happy.
Oh, yes. And gentlemen, before we go any further, I've got to bring her in. She is the co-host of the Martine Grammatica Show, Monday through Fridays, 9 to 11 a.m. on zliving.com. Ladies and gentlemen, our girl, Miss Ruth the Truth. What's up,
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome. Thanks for waiting for me.
You might need some of this rowdy energy to keep you up, girlfriend. I'm telling you.
These early mornings are not for me. So by like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'm already like dozing off. I feel like an older woman right now.
That's all right. I appreciate you hanging out with us for a little bit here. So, Ruth, I'm glad you came on because your timing is perfect as usual. So I want to transition the conversation, and we can come back to the Jacksonville if you have a point on it, which I'm sure you do. Mm-hmm. But you and Martine this morning had a very interesting conversation with regards to Mr. Cam Newton. As we have seen all over social media, Cam Newton was called out by, as Martine called him, this is Martine Grammatica's word, that little punk. And, this young kid who came to the camp that Cam Newton was at, and he is put on for these young men. He called Cam out, and the situation, I think got blown out of proportion. But I think Cam handled it in a way that was fitting of not only being a man, but being an adult. So, Ruth, I want to go back to your conversation because I do want to get more insight from you on this and just your thoughts on the whole shebang.
So first and foremost, Martine has no filter. As you guys could see watching that show, he is a savage. So there's some points in the show where I'm just like, yo, do we have like a bleeper on this thing? Because sometimes he'd be dropping some words. I'm like, Martine, I don't know. This is TV. This isn't a podcast. But let's just say Cam Newton handled the situation, I guess, the best way Cam Newton could at that very moment. Do I feel like he probably should have ignored the kid and kept walking? Absolutely. As soon as the cameras came out, you already know that he's doing it for the clout. You already know that he's doing it for the attention. And when it comes to a younger kid that doesn't know anything about what you've been through to get to the point that you're at in your career, why even give him any attention? I mean, I will say, though, the part when he was telling the child, like, where's your dad? I'm not going to waste my time confronting you. Where's your father? So I can let your father know that he's failing in some part of his parenthood right now for you to come at like Cam Newton himself, who is hosting the event that you are having the ability to play and showcase your skills. Like, he's giving you the platform right now, and you're really going to try to tear this man down. It really makes no sense to me. I mean, I don't know if you guys have read that apology that he posted all over social media, but I'm not buying it. I don't know if it's his mom that wrote that apology, knowing that her son might be shooting himself in the foot when it comes to his future, endeavors when it comes to playing in football. And I mean, he might be closing the doors in a lot of situations by doing something like that. And I mean, yeah, he's a free agent. Is that a problem? Does he have a lot of money? Absolutely. I mean, the man is rich. He's successful. He's been in the NFL for quite some time right now. He was a league MVP at one point. He made it to the Super Bowl. He won a national championship with Auburn. Like, this man deserves some respect. Yeah, he didn't have the best season, but he's jumping into a brand new situation when New England is already falling apart before he even signed the contract, with 9 opt-outs because of COVID-19, losing Tom Brady, losing a lot of key pieces that was, towards their success. So I was angered by it when I saw the video. And like Martine said, he was just a little punk.
Yeah, that kid.
Let me in.
Oh,
let me in. Let me in.
Tap in.
Let me in. Let me in. Okay. All right. First and foremost, the kid was roasting Cam Newton at Cam's own camp. Now, the worst part about this is what the kid was saying wasn't necessarily a lie. So you know what? For that one, I'm going to give him a C. Here's where he failed. One, you're at his camp. You're there for a reason. If you're good enough to be at his camp, how the hell are you going to call out the camp director? Number two, this man's a multi-millionaire. Are you a millionaire? No, you're a high school kid trying to get on Instagram and Twitter to make a name for yourself for all the wrong reasons. Three, if you had a father in your life, he would have taught you to show some damn respect to your elders and the people who can actually elevate you. And I hope this kid gets humbled by all of the success he think he has, because if he was thinking straight, you would have said your piece, shut the hell up, and let Cam there to stew. When Cam was asking where your father is and you keep whoop-de-wooing at the mouth, it just shows how ignorant you are and how you affect other people's lives and how people think about you. You have to think about the big picture, not just yourself. And he wanted to be an Instagram star. Well, you know what, Instagram star? When you don't get picked up from any colleges because of your attitude, or you don't make it in the NFL because of your ignorant attitude, or when you get blindsided by a kid who wants that Instagram success because of your attitude, you got no one to blame but yourself. Cam, you probably should have walked away, but I'm glad you stood up for yourself. Because you know what? When you're a league MVP, you've been in the league for 10 years, you're a multi-million-dollar man, and you could dress like a woman and get away with it. You don't have to answer to some 18-year-old punk kid.
Why does everybody got to say he dresses like a woman? He's got flashing style, damn it.
He's got that runway style. I like that, Mike. No, but that's what my point is. Like, why even waste your breath on a child that doesn't even understand the meaning of life at this point? Like, walk away. Like,
no,
he faces way worse situations with adults that are in the league, people that are above him. He faces way worse. So why lash back at a young child that doesn't know any better?
Wait, I have the answer to that. Remember when he took a beating in Carolina for giving that woman reporter a hard time about her question?
Yeah.
It's the same concept to what Alex is saying. And Eric and I have had this conversation before. I mean, you guys know I call games, and look, the college games and stuff, it's easier always dealing with SIDs and coaches and athletes aren't too bad. But high school wise, I'm telling you, I've come across some kids and I'm like, they're like, oh, are you going to interview him? And I hear him talking and I'm like, nope, don't need an interview. Even though I needed an interview, I'm like, not happening. Like, I'm not talking to this moron. Like, right. I'm with you, and maybe Cam should have kind of walked away, but I'm glad he didn't, because you're right. Kids just keep on yapping, and where it's going to affect them in the long run. It's like, I mean, like you're saying, is recruiting wise, all coaches want to know, like, are guys coachable? I mean, the high school coaches I talk to, obviously kids that are talented, but it's like they're putting in the work, they're coachable. And then when I hear that from a coach, I'm like, all right, is he just saying that? But you see how they are around their teammates, whether it's a fellow starter or, the 12th, 13th guy off the bench in basketball, the 53rd, 73rd dude, whatever, in football, whatever. They're the same way. So kid, I mean, yeah, if I'm Cam, I'm definitely asking him where his father is. If that kid keeps talking, but I'm right, I'm throwing him out of the camp, because Cam did that. Because I'm sure if it would have happened at any other big-time quarterback camp, they would have been like, okay, you have a good day, bye. Like, here's your money back.
I hope that kid is blacklisted, honestly. Like, he doesn't deserve to have a chance to be a superstar in the NFL. Like, we don't need those kind of people elevated when they should be.
He's what, 15?
Yeah, they should be. They should set as an example.
Oh, 18. Sorry, 18.
18 from Pennsylvania with no offers, talking trash.
Yeah,
so he's an 18-year-old? Wait, he's an adult?
Jimmy Johnson. Hold on. My man, Coach Jimmy Johnson, put it best. He said Cam should have escorted him to his parents, refunded their money, and send him home. Right. Don't go away, man. Just go away. Let me say this, and I was saving this for next season, but you know what? Since we're together, let me just go ahead and show y'all to see this. This is the Sports Arena Championship belt. All right. Be looking for this coming to y'all this summer. Each one of y'all is getting one. But my point is this. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about this hardware. Okay. And maybe Cam doesn't have the rings to show for his ability and what he's done. But you know what Cam Newton does have that this 18-year-old kid from Pennsylvania doesn't have? Shout out to the great Aretha Franklin. He got RESPECT. And I'm telling you right the hell now, that kid, you are going to be a one-hit 15-minute wonder. So to Alex's point, to the next kid that comes up and pops this young man in the mouth or takes him to the woodshed, he might learn his lesson. I respect the ego, because when you play football is a dangerous sport. You have to, like I've heard all athletes say, you have to be some type of crazy to come across the middle and prepare to get knocked flat out. Okay. But when you are showcasing and you are able to go to an event to showcase your talent, you respect the people who have given you the opportunity and that platform. And I think I can speak for the National Scouting Combine, which I'm going to be at in 2 weeks, when I say every single one of them young men that I talk to, they are humbled to be at that event And I have yet to meet anybody talk bad to Jimmy, Uncle Jay, Greg, Scott, Coach Clark, Coach Blackwell, because y'all know me. Let one of them little SOBs try and go off. Jimmy won't have to say a word. You hear me?
Right.
Jimmy
And
won't have to say a word. I will be on that person like stink on U.S. sugar honey iced tea. So all I'm saying is, people, young men, young black men. I'm gonna give y'all a minute. Let me take this one. Young black men, let me say this to you, and I'm looking dead in the camera when I say this. You are under the microscope from the day you are born. So when you get your shot and you get your opportunity, respect the person who gave you that opportunity and respect the fact that you have this shot. Because you know what? There are so many young black men who never get that chance. Understand where I'm coming from. You are held to a higher degree, so start acting like it.
Heat.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I just couldn't imagine talking to anybody like you're saying at a camp too. And I know it's archaic and whatever, disciplinary actions, but having, as you know, Eric, a fully Italian family, if either one of my parents would have found out that I snapped back at a coach or did something to show up a coach, yeah, I would have gotten a beating. No, I wasn't an abused child, but the beating would have happened. And Alex, I know you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I shared the story with Eric a long time back, and I'll keep it short. But I remember because playing soccer growing up, I wasn't going to play in high school, but freshman year, I obviously played varsity. Sophomore year, there's only JV and varsity. He wanted to put me on JV for political reasons. And I'm like, whose parents were boosters, this and that. I was like, I'm out. I went home to my dad and I said, hey, can you go talk to coach, our coach? Because he wants to put me on JV, and I'm sorry, like, that's ridiculous because I know, like, who he has up there. My dad looked at me, patted me on the shoulder. He's like, good luck with that. Walked away. Everybody's got choice, message. So I didn't play. I was like, no, you're not. First of all, I'm not going to play JV. You guys can suck or do whatever. That's not going to happen. But I never talked back to the coach. I wasn't happy when the conversation was happening. But if I would have even at camps, like, some kids would screw around if they're not listening, like they would send them to run. And people were like, well, they're paying to be at the camp. I'm like, they're not paying to be total jackasses.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
hey, Mike,
yeah.
Really quick, let me get my man because he joined us here. He's blessing us with his presence, the future, Dr. Jarrell Heslip. Jarrell, what's going on?
Hey, welcome.
Hey, unmute yourself, bro. We can't hear you. There he goes. Hold up.
Nope, unmute.
Nope, not yet.
Unmute.
Unmute.
That's
there
my
you go.
fault. That's my fault. Hey, how you guys doing, man? Thank you for having me on.
Anytime, brother. What's up?
Oh my goodness. Y'all talking about my guy, Cam Newton. Cameron Jarrell Newton. So I was looking, happened to look and see this at work, a clip of him going back and forth with the young man. Then I also called Stephen A. Smith, his explanation, and they gave a lot of slack to the young man, rightfully so, for being disrespectful, not appreciative, not humble. But there's another element that I like to point out, and that is the element of where we are in this generation of how young men, young women are influenced by what they take from social media and it affects how they act. So this is just a reflection of how all of our youth act. So they see this content on TikTok, on IG, on everything, and media, they promote this and make money off this, and we glorify this type of behavior. Now, like Stephen A. Smith said, kids are going to be kids. But I remember growing up, we had a thing called the OG code. We would act a certain way amongst our friends, but we had enough respect and enough common sense not to disrespect elders or anyone over a certain age, and that is lost in our culture.
Yep.
So as much as he is rightfully wrong for being disrespectful, not a good representation, not only for his team but his family. We need to look at the whole. Look at the whole. He's just one part of a whole culture of kids that are learning this from what we're throwing out there on the media. What we're throwing out there on the media. Now, my man Cam, I expect so much more out of you for not. You shouldn't even entertained it as a millionaire, as a NFL athlete, as a star. But the kid was wrong. I just see it in a whole another light, and I just wanted to say that. I definitely want to speak on it, but I thank you guys so much for letting me come on, and it's nice meeting you, Ruth. I'm a big fan of you and Michael.
Oh, thank you. I got a question though.
I finally have a fan. Terrell,
I know it only took the 12 years, but you finally got one.
Alex likes to pick on me, but he's a fan. I got 2 fans now. Yes.
That's it.
So why do you guys think that none of the other coaches at the on the field stepped into the situation until later on? Because I'm sorry, like if I knew this kid by name and he was on my team and I saw the way that he was acting and the way that he was talking, I would have intervened and let the kid know, like, you're shooting yourself in the foot right now. You better put your foot in the mouth. You better get your crap together and walk away right now, or go do like 30. I would have made that kid do like 200 push-ups, 30 laps. Let's go. Like, shut your mouth.
Now, can I say something real quick before? I know you guys gotta go.
No, please go ahead, brother.
After you.
Now, I'm a former teacher. I taught middle school. I taught high school. I taught college. Now, kids will get under your skin early, and they're the funniest. I love them. They can actually make you laugh when you think about it, but you have to know when and when not to indulge in certain kind of behavior. Now, as a coach, I did see the coach come in and intervene, and it looked like he was just trying to be humble to Cam and not go into dialogue. Thinking back at it and looking back, I really wish, like you said, the coach would have took some kind of responsibility and disciplining the kid right then and there. Absolutely. Because that's what needed to be had. That is exactly what needed to be had, and they didn't do that. They tried to remove him from the situation. I think he just tried to save face with Cam with that. I think that's what happened with that, because Cam is a celebrity.
I mean, I would have told the child, I would have been like, listen, you're not playing anymore. Give me your jersey. Let's refund your money. Like, you're done right now. Go do 100 push-ups. Like, discipline him in a way that it's going to make an example out of him in front of all the other students that were around. Because, I mean, you saw everybody with their cameras out, people making jokes, laughing about it, but there was nothing funny about that situation.
And that is the whole point.
On him. I would have went Medea on him.
Yeah, but that's my whole point. Why are we so quick to just grab our cameras? Why are we so quick to grab our phones and turn a simple situation that back in the day was, yo, come here, let me talk to you real quick. Let me holler at you real fast and let you know. Instead, we quick to pick up this damn thing because we got to record it.
That's the society that we live in. You remember what happened to LeBron James and Anthony Davis when that woman on the sidelines during COVID had something smart to say because her husband said something to LeBron? Now, you're at a basketball game, number one. They're on the court, and you're blessed to be inside the building. Number two, you accidentally rub up against LeBron. He accidentally runs into your husband. Accident. You shouldn't even effing be there, but you're there. So you're going to take it upon yourself to make a scene and make it seem like the guy on the court that you paid to see was the one that was in fault in the first place? This is the culture that we live in now that Dr. Jarrell Heslop was speaking about. It's all about me, me, me. And even if I'm wrong, I'm going to make you look wrong so that way I can get some clout. You take away TikTok, you take away this Instagram, you take away these fake Instagram models, and people actually have to earn something? No, that's the hard way. He tried to find an easy way to make himself famous. Well, I hope he's famous now, so that way everybody knows his face.
Famously looking like a fool.
Oh, yes. Dr. Jarrell.
And not only that.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, just to end. Not only that, it's a gift and a curse. We started with, I want to say, the first time I started seeing a lot of people picking up cameras was, what's it called?
MySpace?
What is that? No, not MySpace. Well, I'm just talking about bigger. It has all the raunchy stuff on it. You can catch everything.
World Star.
World Star.
Oh, wow.
Gift and a curse. World Star. So as soon as the flame picked up on World Star, now it is a beautiful thing. When we have injustice, everyone picks up that camera and we're able to see the things, and we can actually get into a discussion about it because we see it. But at the same time, we have that negative aspect in which we're talking about right now.
Yeah, but Jarrell, at a sports camp, like nobody. I mean, if parents are on the sidelines watching, that's one thing. But no athlete should have their phone out on the field, like phones out on the field.
That's
like,
true.
I'd be if I'm coaching and I'm there, I'm like, okay, you're either here to work hard and get better or not. Because if your phone's out here, bye, have a good day.
That's true.
You're right. It's a respecting. It's a discipline
thing. Do you think that
thing.
would have happened to Tom Brady?
Well, I was about to say, do you think that
the exchange with and a kid?
Well, the Manning quarterback camp, because they have that every year. You think that's going to happen at the Manning quarterback camp? No, there's no way.
All right.
Good point.
But I'm just saying, like,
good point.
Nobody's gonna have phones out there. So, like, you're right. You're also respecting, because we always talk about it, how, like, every generation says a generation behind them is either soft or rude or whatever. Well, like I was saying before you came on, like, there's a respect. If you're my parents, I had a respect for them, because I know if we got out of line at some point, the beatings might start commencing, because we did it to ourselves.
No problem. You going out? Look, this is back in the day. You going out picking your own switch. Hey, Jarrell, appreciate the love, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Jarrell's Journal. Make sure you check my brother out. This man's doing so much stuff, both with sports as a sports consultant, but then also off sports, talking about men's mental health, brother. I really appreciate you joining us, man. Thank you so much. You always got a welcome invitation. If you want to hang around, you can, but this brother was patiently waiting in the wing. So it's not Tuesday, but my brother from the Say What, Say It Again sports talk show, Mr. Tyree.
Hey, Tyree.
Hey, look, I had to jump in real quick, man. I feel like I done talked about this Cam thing like, man. I talked about it on Clubhouse.
They still won't let me in.
I mean, all you got to do is holler at me.
Tyree, before you talk about this whole Cam Newton thing, I want to know why you went ghost on me after Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl.
I didn't go ghost on you. No, I didn't. First of all,
Actually, he didn't go.
Hey, look.
Alex,
I didn't go ghost on you. Hey, look, right after I think it was right around the Super Bowl, I sent you the article. You said it was terrible, and then I went ghost on you. Now I'm just messing.
Wow, why you doing like that, Alex?
I just messing with that.
I was physically.
It's like 50% true.
At the Super Bowl, and that was the best night of my life.
That she remembers.
Oh wow. Tyree was messaging me.
Hold on. I will say this in her defense. Ruth was a champ because she showed up to work the next morning, 9 a.m. on the Martine Gramatica show. So I have to give her props. Girlfriend handled her business at the Super Bowl, but the very next morning, she was front and center live. So I got to give her props. I thought I was going to
throw up the whole time. I was like,
Tyree was letting me know that he didn't want to have to hear Alex talk about the Super Bowl, so he didn't ghost you, Alex. He was telling me about it.
Yeah, I did. I did tell him. I said I don't even care the fact that they won. I just didn't want to hear it. I just didn't want to hear it. No. Ask Michael Carter. I told him. I said I didn't even care that they won. I just didn't want to hear your mouth. I didn't even care that they won. It didn't bother because my team wasn't playing, so it didn't matter to me. I didn't put. I'm not a gambler no more. I was a gambler at one point. I'm not a gambler no more. So it really didn't matter to me.
I haven't seen Avery. Avery somewhere in the gym losing weight, drinking Slim Fast. Real talk. He didn't want no smoke.
For lack of better judgment, I haven't seen Avery either. No, I'm just messing with you. But my take on the situation, like I said, man, I feel like this is like the 15th time I talked about this today. But the thing that kind of really got me was they showed the first video. It's two videos. They showed the first video. I feel like they really tried to turn the first video into something it was. A lot of people said that Cam shouldn't have responded. I think that's debatable. I'm gonna put myself in Cam's shoes. I mean, I think you gotta put yourself in his shoes. And if I put myself in his shoes, it would have went way different if it was me. Like it probably would have went bad. I'm gonna just be honest, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not talking about for the child, more so for his. I'm like, yo, where is your parents at? I'm not leaving. Well, look, I'm locking this field down till your parents get here. Like something like that is just, to me, is disrespectful. Like not only like how many kids would like, I don't want to use that word, but would kill to be on the field, to be taking advice from a former MVP. You could say the man dresses funny. You can say this. You can say he's not good no more. You can say this and you can say that. But he's a former NFL MVP. I mean, he's a former All-Pro. Like, I mean, what couldn't you soak up from it? And like I said, I felt like they tried to hide the second video because the second video really tells a lot more because he goes to the kid and he's even trying to have a conversation with him like, hey, when do you play? I want to see you play. How did you play today? The kid's like, oh, you know what I do? I'm on YouTube. I'm this and that. Like, I'm asking you, how did you do? I didn't ask you nothing about all that. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, like Jarrell said, the coach did try to intervene, but Cam told the coach, me and him having a conversation. It's no beef, but we're having a conversation. He told the coach to like kind of step back. So, I mean, I don't know.
No, I feel you on that, Tyree, man. Man, brother, I know you going back to watch your game. Appreciate your time, man. I'm going to holler at you after the show's over, but thank you so much for dropping in.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Y'all like, you know that anytime. Check this brother out. Him and the crew, Tuesday nights,
this dude
8:30.
Disrespectful, man.
Oh, man.
You know that's Alex.
This dude disrespectful.
That's Alex. Hey, we're going to take a real quick break. Oh, there she is. Look at her. I have a better picture of you, Ruth. I think I might have to show that one. That's my.
I thought she was a Cowboy fan.
No, we're not doing that right now, Eric.
Don't you dare, Eric. Don't you dare.
She was a Cowboy fan.
Don't you dare do that to me.
Cowboys fan, but she works with Martin Radicka, but it's the Bucks.
Okay.
I know what Eric wants to show. Don't you, Eric?
Don't you dare.
I will drive to Florida this weekend. I will do it.
I feel like doing like a Mission Impossible to break into his computer and like delete that photo.
I don't put it to the cloud, baby. It's there forever. Hey, back more with the Sports Arena. We're back in 30 seconds.
All right, appreciate you.
Welcome back to the Sports Arena. Oh, I am very thankful to this Rowdy Energy for hooking me up because it's been a long week and it's only Monday, but it has just been going and going. Your man, Eric Wilson here. Hey, big thanks again to our girl, Miss Ruth the Truth, Martine Grammatica Show. Make sure y'all check her out Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. on zliving.com. Mike, let me get Mike back in here. And Alex will be back in a moment. But, man, all right, we need to transition over to the NBA because basketball is here. And Alex and I actually put in that work last night. The Magic, very successful in their victory over the Detroit Pistons, and Toronto Raptors beat the Philadelphia 76ers. It was bittersweet for me, but, you know, I was happy that they won based on what I saw. Oh, we got another guest joining us. Oh, she is host of the NBA Carousel and the Sip-Off. We got our girl, Miss Megan Price in the building.
Hey, how y'all
What's
doing?
up, Megan? Now, Megan, you do know that you and Mr. Caratenuto share a love for a certain football team that I can't stand. Y'all know that.
Yes.
I do know. I've watched you talk before, so I knew you were a Cowboys fan.
Hopefully you don't aren't easily as swayed as Ruth to like don Buck stuff, you know, just because she's working there. No, I'm just kidding.
I just want to say Megan Price, who took a chance on herself, is now hosting the NBA Carousel after starting the Sip-Off and does shows with the 806 Sports in Amarillo, Texas.
Indeed. It's kind of blowing up for me lately.
Imagine that.
That's all love and all beautiful. So I'm glad you're joining us for this segment because if there's anybody who knows NBA, aside from our girl Ruth, I definitely love the fact that we got Miss Megan Price in the building. But I want to start with Mike on this one because, you know, when we were having this conversation earlier, I was like, okay, let's talk about some of these teams that we know a little something about. So, Mike, earlier in the season, or before the season started, I think even, we had said that Phoenix was going to be a sleeper team. So I want to get your thoughts on where they are currently as constructed, and more importantly, what you think their future is going to be like with the rest of this season.
Well, I mean, look, whether he's difficult to get along with in the locker room or not, on the court, everybody listens to Chris Paul, and the offense is flowing great. I mean, it couldn't be – I didn't realize how much better it could be, but at the same time, Devin Booker and him, they're gelling. It's not like, oh, you have the ball. Chris Paul has no problem letting him run it. They're moving the ball. They're playing defense, which in the NBA I know is scary to say because, whoa, somebody's kind of playing defense. But I mean, right now, the 4 seed in the West, they're playing Portland right now. They had a 8-point lead or a 6-point lead at halftime. And I mean, Portland's climbing the standings too. But with what Chris Paul has done for the Suns, DeAndre Ayton needs to get tougher though. I mean, he'll get demolished in the playoffs. A big man that plays down low. I just don't understand it. He's 7-1. He gets a rebound and then he puts it back up softly. I'm telling you right now, if I'm 7, you guys were anywhere near me, I'm posterizing you every time. I don't understand. Well, I know why he's kind of soft, Eric, because he went to that school down south here. He went to U of A. So we all know anybody from Tucson's soft. That being said, he needs to get tougher.
Damn,
it kills me.
Just
it
no
kills
love,
me,
brother.
No, because he's 7-2. Alex is shaking his head no because he knows at 7-1 you need to dunk on smaller guys, and he settles for little 5-foot fadeaway shots. Look, they're in 4th in the West. I said they would be battling for the A spot, which again, I mean, the A spot they're a few games up, but they're 4 games up on the A spot. So I mean, look, they're going to be in it. Chris Paul is not. I mean, look, he took bubble or not the break in the season. He took Oklahoma City. He took Oklahoma City to the playoffs last year, which even before the season started had a 0.02% chance to make it. So he's taking the Suns to the playoffs, but I mean, it'll be tough, man. But the fact that they're going to get there for the first time in 11 years, he will take it.
I mean, listen, at 19-10, we can't sleep on what they're doing. But I'm going to go over to our special guest, Miss Megan Price from the Sip Off and the NBA Carousel. Megan, just give me your thoughts about the Western Conference. I mean, you out there in Texas, you get to see what the Mavericks are doing, what the Spurs are doing, what the Rockets are, I guess, trying to do. But actually, Megan, while I got you, let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
Because I think you would have some insight knowledge. And of course, I'm going to defer to Alex. But what's the whole Boogie Cousins situation? He's out of Houston, and apparently he's trying to link up with the new big 3 in Brooklyn.
I don't know. I think there has been some. Coach Silas came out and said that it was just rumors. So I mean, I don't know what type of validity there is to that. But I mean, I would want him to go to a contender, obviously. But I kind of hoped he would stay in Houston. Feel like he's got a good vibe with Coach Silas and with John Wall. He's going to finish out his career on restricted minutes no matter what. So he needs to finish somewhere where he's healthy and he's happy. Obviously, something for Boogie that's always been an issue is his attitude. So he needs to be somewhere where he's very happy.
Okay.
Boogie!
All right. Alex, you've been awfully quiet over the last couple of weeks speaking about your boy Luka. So can you kind of give me some insight as to what's going on with Baby Goat?
Luka is getting his shot back and getting some players back. Porzingis hasn't been healthy, and now that he's actually healthy, they just found out some of these cats don't play a lot of defense. Now, Luka is taking the blame, but he's pulling up triple doubles. You know, it's kind of hard when you're a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest in the Western Conference.
Right.
But you know what? Luka is going to make this right, and he's going to get this ship right. Rick Carlisle is an excellent coach. Mm-hmm. They're one piece away from contending against the Lakers and the Clippers. You saw last year in the bubbles how the Clippers got sick and tired of dealing with Luka, so they started giving him that smoke. Dallas needs an enforcer, somebody who ain't afraid to get a little bit dirty. Because if you have that, that's going to keep Luka clean, so that way he can start clowning some of these NBA teams. Rick, if you're listening, Boogie!
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say Boogie Cousins will show up with the attitude problem.
Always.
Hey, all I have to say is I got to give a shout out to our boy Jake, though, because he did say the Spurs could make the playoffs. And right now they're the 6th seed, which I know there's a lot left. But I'm pretty stoked. I have 7 out of 8 teams in the playoffs as of right now. I'm missing on Dallas. I'm just saying.
Is Coach Pop still the coach of the San Antonio Spurs?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so wait, hold on. Are we going there though? Because our assistant coach is going to be a GOAT also, Becky
Hammond.
Oh yes. Much love to Becky Hammond. Yes.
Hey, since I got Megan on the show, I don't step on her toes with the sip off and the NBA carousel, but I got to keep it real since you're on the sports arena, Megan.
Okay, let me know.
I got beef with LaMarcus Aldridge.
Okay, hold on, Mike. We're going to step aside right now and let these two handle their business. Go ahead, y'all.
Go ahead.
Okay, I love Pop. I got nothing but love for Pop. Pop was my first interview. I got nothing but love for Pop. But on that same token, that roster up and down is a little bit, and then you got LaMarcus Aldridge playing like DeAndre Ayton type soft. Like
he is soft. He's Charmin soft.
Charmin soft, bro.
Absolutely, Charmin soft.
Okay, so if that's the case, how come they haven't found a trade partner to pick up LA, who's still missing Portland? He probably needs to go back to Portland and get with Dollar Dame and CJ McCollum because he's wasted space.
I don't think Portland wants him, and I think we've shopped him around. San Antonio is not known for doing major moves before the trade deadline. It's usually planned out really well. It's not usually shocker moves like that, but I think we tried to get rid of LaMarcus Aldridge. I think we tried to shop him with our draft pick, and nobody wanted him. Like there was rumors that Golden State was going to pick him up and our draft pick, and it just fell through once the draft hit. So I think we let him play the last year of his contract out with us, and I'm hoping we cut him.
Damn, like that?
Straight like that.
Damn, she's like bye, Felicia.
No, we play better ball without him. Okay.
LaMarcus Aldridge has been a head case since he got there because didn't Pop I just recall something, and I could be off. You might know better, Megan, but I could have swore they were talking about how like Pop went to dinner with him after he got there and saying, "Hey, I told you I'm going to be here for your whole contract." And like it's just like mentally. And again, they're playing a sport. I get it, but he's always played. He played good enough in Portland to get that big contract from San Antonio, and then once he gets there, it's like the San Antonio way. It's like he just kind of wilted. So that's what's frustrating because in Portland, I mean, look, I think of him playing the way he did in Portland, and you put him next to Lillard and McCollum now, like they probably have a record of the Utah Jazz, who, oh, by the way, are just building confidence every week. Look, I said the Jazz would make the playoffs this year, but I'm telling you that they keep playing like this. Even if Anthony Davis comes back, Alex, if Anthony Davis is healthy, they have confidence. They won't be intimidated by the Lakers. That's all I'm saying.
I said this last week on the sports arena. I know the Utah Jazz got inspired by Shaq whoop-de-wooing at the mouth.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes when somebody speaks at the side of their mouth, you want to do everything in your power to make sure that they regret those words. Here's all I want. I know Utah's a good team, but don't show me in the regular season. Show me when it counts.
Sure.
I want to see you bump off Denver. I want to see you get rid of that cupcake that you're going to face in the first round. And then with all that smoke comes with the LA Lakers, I don't mind if you lose in 7. But damn it, if you get swept or it's a gentleman's sweep in 5, break it up. Break it up. Blow it up. Nagasaki. Because obviously Shaq was right and you can't compete. Now, if you lose in 7, hey, you're just a piece of weight. Quinn Snyder's an excellent coach. But if you beat the LA Lakers, then you're going to have to deal with Brooklyn or Boston. Do they match up well with Brooklyn or Boston? I don't know.
From the man who said that a 9-3 record in the NFL was not a relevant team, we're going to transition over to the Eastern Conference. Yes, I'm not going to let you forget that, Mr. Fleming. So let's talk about the Eastern Conference because, like I said earlier, Alex and I putting in that work again. Yes, even though they lost last night to the Toronto Raptors, the Philadelphia 76ers, and you know what? I asked Doc Rivers that exact question last night when I talked to him in the pregame. I said, Doc, your team is first in the Eastern Conference. You're atop the NBA. What has it been? What are these guys buying and what are you selling to them? Because to have Tobias Harris, Danny Green, Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, not Stephen Curry, Seth Curry. That starting 5 last night, let me tell you something. They came out like a house of fire. And you know what? I was very impressed by what happened last night between these two teams. One of the gentlemen who I was working with last night told me, yeah, sorry, Alex, I was cheating on you a little bit. He looked at me and said, Eric, this game has a playoff feel to it. And I said, you know what? You are absolutely right. Now, the rematch is tomorrow night back at the Amway Center. So I'm curious to see how Philly responds to being punched in the mouth in Tampa Bay. But when you look at the teams that are in the Eastern Conference, and I'll be the first to admit, I didn't think Milwaukee was going to make the postseason. I owe them an apology right now, sitting at 18-13. But I'm looking at this team, and I'm looking at this entire Eastern Conference, and I'm saying to myself, the New York Knicks at 15-16, playing some of the best ball I've seen since the days when I donned a Ewing jersey 7 days a week. I need one of y'all to speak on this for me, please.
I called it in like the second week of the sip off. I called it. I said the Knicks are the team to watch in the East. They're that sleeper team. Now they're not going to the championship or anything like that. No. You know, they're not making the championship. But this is that team that's going to hand out key losses that hurt, the losses that keep you from the playoffs. That's what the Knicks are about this year. And I love it. Love it. Yep. I'm so glad to see D Rose back with Tibb. Like, it's the right spot for him. I know he wanted to go to a contender, but it's a right spot for him to go to finish out his career. It's a coach he knows. So he knows how to keep him healthy and keep him happy. It's the right spot for him.
And Alex,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, mate. No, it's Alex, and real quick too. We were talking about the whole Cam thing and respect. Tibbs ain't gonna put up with any crap. It's gonna be his way, and it might not always be right. And Jimmy Butler liked it for a little bit, didn't like it the second. But they are. I love that phrase, Megan. They are going to give teams bad losses, and they make the playoffs. But I will say this about Toronto, real quick, Eric, is that they are starting to get healthy now.
Oh yes.
And the healthier they get, it's a team that has the experience. Nick Nurse has done a hell of a job, but it'll be interesting.
Mike, you beat the number one team in the Eastern Conference last night, and you did it without Kyle Lowry, my boy from South Philly. You know Kyle Lowry is chomping at the bit and wanting to get back at this Philadelphia 76ers team. So that's why I'm saying to you, I will say this. Look out for Alex's boy, Watanabe. But I'm telling you.
Watanabe.
Yes, sir. But the combination of Aaron Baines and Chris Boucher, now you've got length to where Baines is going to be that enforcer that Alex spoke about that other teams may or may not need. Excuse me. Watch what Norman Powell, Chris Boucher, and Pascal Siakam do, because when the three of them are on the floor, I'm telling you, it is a beautiful thing to behold. Alex, I want to kick it to you really quick because you talked about Boston and you talked about Brooklyn. If I'm going to hold your feet to the fire right now, which one of these two teams do you see winning the Eastern Conference?
Absolute honest.
Yes, sir. Feet to the fire,
sir. The Boston Celtics. And here's why. Brooklyn got plenty of bullets. They'll shoot down your house. They'll put bullet holes all around your house. You know what they don't have? Any cork to build the house back up. They got no D. They're going to have to go into each and every playoff series out shooting you. And they can do it. They can do it. But if you find an opponent that actually plays some damn defense in the NBA and takes away one of the key three, you better hope and pray one of them don't get injured. Because if one of the big three get injured and you got a team that actually plays some D, now you got problems. Because now you got wreck ball between Kyrie Irving and James Harden. Now, if Harden's running the point, he can make things happen. Because you can see when he was without Durantula and he was without Kyrie, he got the thing done against good teams. But let Harden go down with the injury and Kyrie running the show. Oh, no. He got a mental block. He can't get that done. I love Durantula. I do. But he's missed how many games due to COVID restrictions, health restrictions, or just taking a day off? Now, Brooklyn is the hot ticket. That's the fad. That's the trend. That's what's hot right now. But as I told Ruth and everybody else that'll listen, I love offense, but defense wins championships. Addition by subtraction. No Gordon Hayward. Boston's 50-50, and they're under the radar. They're that number 4 seed that nobody expects nothing from. Let me tell you something. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is a problem. Real talk. And I got my money on a team that whooped up on Philly, can play with Milwaukee, and plays defense unlike the Nets. Time will vindicate me.
So where are you guys on Indiana then? Because I like Indiana the more I watch them.
Indiana at number 4 right now, sitting at 15-14, I think is very much like San Antonio. They're that dark horse that no one talks about, but always finds a way to get into the playoffs. I'll take a page out of Megan Price's book and say I think Indiana is going to be that team that gives playoff contending teams those key losses that are going to affect the seeding. So that's my pick. Where do I see Indiana going? I see the Pacers going to the second round of the playoffs. After that, I don't see it. Listen, Oladipo is going to be the glue that holds that team together. But
no, he won't because he's in Houston.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
He's gone.
That's right.
And it's another Orlando Magic transfer, Domantas Sabonis, who's the man in Indiana now.
Sabonis.
Imagine that.
Wow.
Weird.
That's another thing. I'm sick and tired of all these players leaving Orlando and becoming stars. That's starting to bother me.
Okay. Welcome to Philadelphia, my friend.
Oh,
I don't want to hear
here
that.
we go.
Ooh, speaking of Philadelphia, you saw that they cut Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson, and Jason Kelsey retired. Is leaving. Okay, well, I'm just saying they're cleaning house, bro.
Oh, I didn't know he retired.
Deshaun Jackson
going to the Cowboys?
No, he's Michael. Shut up. Shut up.
Alex loves it. Hey, by the way, I forgot to say, Alex, the other day, I forgot to say, you had to be jumping up and down doing backflips ones too, because he didn't end up in your real home in Chicago. So that has to make you even happier.
God. Thank God. You know, that was one of those rare times I'd rather have Trubisky than Wentz.
Did you really just say that with a straight face? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to quote Alex Fleming, Alex, hold on, let me look this way. You need to be drug tested. Wow.
Hey, it's a football world and we just live in it.
Speaking of that, we got to welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. John Turner. Good evening, sir. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. What's going on, my man? How are you?
It's another great day. I haven't had a bad day in years and months and days. How are you guys all feeling tonight?
Oh, feeling awesome, my man. Feeling awesome. So let's jump back. Go ahead, sir.
If my Wizards could ever contend for anything more than the 8th spot, I'd be a happy guy.
Hey, Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook. Oh my God.
They are 20 years overdue for a power 4 swing 3 that could be a power 4 or a 4-5. Look, I could name 6 centers, power forwards in a row that they've drafted, that they went into a 15-year consecutive abyss with trying to do something at the position and have failed. They wasted a lot of guards and forwards trying to make that position work over and over and over again. We're talking lottery picks too, starting with Kwami Brown. I don't even want to talk about it.
Kwami Brown.
Kwami Brown had smaller hands than my younger daughter.
Oh.
Decided to pick him number 1 overall. He was barefooted 2 days, butt naked out of Georgia, and he took him number 1 overall in the NBA draft and thought he could be a starting center. I can't believe it. I still can't believe it.
You know it's a football world when John Turner is making Kwame Brown relevant.
Ooh. He should have played tight end.
Oh, my goodness.
Damn.
John Turner is a football world. And
but you did have Gilbert Arenas. You did have Gilbert Arenas.
True.
And he had a lot of guns in the locker room.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to get to that. I was waiting for you to get to that. You know why, John? You know why? You know where he went to college? That's what they teach.
Nowhere.
He went to exactly. Juilliard. That is nowhere. U of A, same difference.
Oh my goodness, Mike! Just move on from it, bro. Just move on. Michael has this thing.
Might as well went to a culinary school.
Gilbert Arenas.
Hey. Oh my goodness.
Hey, he was he was touted to be the number 1 pick in the. No, hold on. U of A was actually going to win their 2nd national title. They were hanging with Duke in 01, right? Gilbert Arenas decides to go 4 for 18. He built houses with all the bricks he shot, and Duke ran away with it. Rich Jefferson is still annoyed with Gilbert Arenas till this day, which I was happy they lost, believe me. But I'm just saying, I was hoping he'd go to the Guns, but that's because of where he went to school. They don't know any. I'm trying to help people out.
God.
It's a football world. I'm trying to help people out.
I actually have a question for Mr. Turner, because he brought something to my attention a couple of weeks ago, and it's actually quite mind-boggling. The NCAA is going to have to start paying athletes coming this summer. And considering what we went through last year, what is the probability of a lot of 5-star and 4-star athletes going to smaller or historically black colleges in the future? I mean, look at Deion Sanders and Jackson State. They look like they're going to be widely successful. And you, Mr. Turner, are the best football mind that I know. So if you could speak on it, what do you think is the chances of that?
Okay, so I've gone back to 2018 and I've created a database that tracks every transfer and every recruit at the FCS and FBS level since the transfer portal was a thing. And I can tell you that right now the trend is in football, the Power Fives, meaning your SEC, your Big Ten, your Pac-12, your Big 12, and your oh God, what's the fifth one? Anyway,
ACC.
Yeah, ACC. Excuse me. Maryland used to play there, so now they don't. So I don't even think about them anymore outside of Fabio, Trevor Lawrence. But so outside of the Power Five, you're getting an influx these last 4 years of highly ranked 3 stars and medium to high ranked 4 stars and low ranked 4 stars have now shifted gears and are now coming to the FCS and coming to Division II. They're transferring out of the Power Five to be stars in some of these lower conference teams in Division 1A and some of these Division 1AA or Division, whatever we want to call the FCS, but and Division 2 for that matter. So the trend is that now Power 5 teams, and especially your Elite 8 or Elite 6 or Elite 4 or whatever we want to call them, they're not even recruiting 2- and 3-star players anymore. They're just going right after the jugular, getting all the big dogs. And then some of them come in as freshmen and find out they're never going to play. So if they redshirt or not, by the time they become age to have a choice of becoming sophomores there, they find out they're never going to play. So they transfer out. And they go to, they're going to Jackson State now. They're going to Ball State. They're going to Bowling Green. They're going to Maryland. Get me out of here. I'm never going to play here at this school. Put me in a position where I can play and I can get some exposure. Because if I'm a 4-star or if I'm a highly touted 3-star that should be considered a 4-star, I mean, who makes these star rankings anyway, really? I mean, these geniuses sit in chairs. So if I'm one of these players that everybody knows was the GOAT at my high school, and I get on a squad that doesn't want to give me any burn, put me somewhere where some coach says, I'll play that guy. And now you funnel in the fact that these kids can make some local endorsements. And this is where Deion steps in. Deion's got workings with all kinds of clothing companies, I'm sure. He can probably get you a St. Ides Special Brew commercial if he wanted to. Okay? But, Deion's telling these kids his biggest selling factor is, I can get you paid, young man. Follow me and I will make you that money. We will not leave the church's money on the floor. All right? Now, I think he's leveraging this job into the head job at Florida State within the next 2 years, but that's neither here nor there. But this is the future of college sports, college football in particular. Don't think basketball will not be very far behind. They're going to create super teams just like they do in the NBA and basketball in the college basketball level. And there's only going to be, you're going to walk into a season where only 4 teams have hope of making the playoffs, and that's the 4 that are going to make it. And the same thing with basketball. You get the big 64 dance. Who's going to get to the Final Four? Well, we already know who it's going to be because now they're paying the players. Okay? So it's going to have a ripple effect across the entire fabric of the sport, whichever sport you root for.
Yeah, but John, when you're talking, because we talked about this on our podcast in the beginning about transfer portals. When the NCAA decided to open the grad transfer portal up, grads can transfer and play right away. But the reason why you're saying these 3 stars, 4 stars, whatever, the coaches aren't playing them, they think it should be somewhere else. They have to transfer down so they can play right away. If they go to another Division I school, they're still sitting out for a year. So that's why they're transferring down. But the grad transfer portal is different. If you enter the transfer portal, even players, I'm saying for grads, they can play right away. Other players can't play right away, especially if you, like our freshman year, if we went somewhere and we said, screw it, even if we registered us, they transferred. If we went to, say, from Florida to Florida State, just say, we still have to sit out that year. Grads don't because they already graduated.
Not all the time.
You can apply, this year for COVID.
You can apply for the exception, and yes, you can throw in the COVID mix. The COVID has thrown a monkey wrench into this entire equation because you can only carry 85 at the football level. I don't know what the roster size is for basketball. I'm not, that I don't keep my ear that close to the floor. But as far as football is concerned, they're going to have big decisions to make because you can bring in 25 signees a year. They made an exception, a rollover exception for the COVID year, and now they're going to be ass in a breeze come 2022 with very short on juniors and seniors. They're going to have to make some hard decisions, and there's going to be a lot of transfers. And guess what? They're going to transfer down. But they are opening up the exception for immediate availability for these transfers more and more since the transfer portal opened. If you look at the numbers, which I have studied and I have recorded, and I can send them to you. I don't mind. I don't care. This is hard, long work that I put in that nobody else has out there. But you will see that the numbers are increasing with players leaving the Power 5 schools and going down to the Group of 5 or going down to the lower half of the Power 5 or going down to the FCS where they can finally get some exposure. How would you like to be a 3-star or 4-star that's sitting at the bottom of the bench, but in comes North Dakota State, says, come on down. You're the next up on The Price is Right. We'll start you every game, and you'll get to be on ESPN Plus every week, and we go undefeated all the time. They have won 39 games in a row.
Mr. Wilson, Miss Price, Mr. Carrot-Tenuto. He has a feather in his cap with the Washington football team because one of those FCS kids, Antonio Gandy Golden, was a star at Liberty.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we say,
my man Isaiah, the wide receiver.
Oh, yes. As we say on the carousel, ladies and gentlemen, it is truly simply this, a football world, and we just simply live in it. Mr. Turner, I thank you so much for your time, sir. I appreciate you. You know the door is always open. Thank you for being on the show tonight, man, and blessing us with your knowledge.
Thanks for having me, guys. You have a great night.
Thank you.
I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Miss Megan Price, host of the Sip Off and the NBA Carousel. Thank you so much for being with us, Megan. I miss you. I can't wait for Carousel Season 2. We're going to talk soon. I'm going to try and jump on, but, man, you got your own platform, girlfriend. Do your thing. Congrats on all your success with 806 Sports. Congrats on all your success with the Sip Off. Hey, bigger and better things for you. It is a blessing and a privilege to know you, but thank you so much.
Thank y'all for letting me come on. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
I see you, Megan.
Mr. Michael Carrot-Tenuto, Believe in the Pac-12 podcast, always dropping knowledge. One of the 7 Dallas Cowboy fans that I can say I actually respect. I do. This is my brother. He knows it. 12 years in the game, and we're only getting better. I wish you were coming with us tomorrow, Mike, but we'll definitely make sure we send you a couple pictures. Our boy Jake's having his send-off tomorrow.
Oh,
he's moving on to bigger and better things, but we'll talk about that later, man. And, of course, my brother, Mr. Alex Fleming, he does it all. Laundry list of just stacks on stacks on stacks on stacks. And as I've told him many a times, Alex Fleming is no longer chasing people. People are chasing after this man. Look for him real soon, not only on this screen, but on your TV screen. Wilson, Sports Arena. Hey, have a blessed night, everybody. I will definitely talk to y'all soon. Peace.